All right, guys, here we go. Here we go. Looky who decided to crawl out of his hole and make a hot takes video. I've been enjoying doing these hot takes videos. We'll probably do quite a few. I mean, we don't have new characters this week. Still probably a good 5 days away from the next Dokan Fest reveal. So we'll buckle in and maybe do one of these once a day or not or whatever. Now, Alan, here's the funny thing about Alan. Something crazy that I would say is I actually think Alan probably has, better takes than people give him credit for a lot of the time. The problem is that Alan gets so ridiculous and completely loses his marbles when talking about hybrid Saiyans. He completely loses his mind. And it's like, he'll make like 9 good points, but he's so wrong and annoying about point number 10, which is, related to like a Gohan or something like that, that it just like wipes away all of his credibility. So I imagine a bunch of the stuff in here I'll agree with, but just understand, if we get to a point and it's hybrid Saiyans, you got to take it with a grain of salt. And I love you, Alan, but we do. Like, the hybrid Saiyan, this dude loves his hybrid Saiyans, man. You got to take it with a grain of salt. The other thing, too, is Alan does get pretty, what's the correct word I want to use here? Vindictive, maybe, against certain characters, right? A lot of it has to do with, like, the Gohan versus, like, Cooler Wars and stuff like that. I'm not super caught up on which units Alan has an agenda against. We'll probably be able to figure that out quickly. That's the two things. Alan usually has good takes, unless it's about a character that he really has an agenda against, or a hybrid Saiyan. Those are where he'll come off the rails. Number one, early 2025 was the worst period of modern Dokan we ever had, and he's counting this as post-6th anniversary. Modern Dokan, I don't know. I might label as like, that's now so far away. But I was going to say probably mid-2019 is really what I would consider kind of like modern Dokan. Because that's when they kind of like a very similar like schedule to what they do now. I guess with the sync, we are now in another new era because the global is synced up. Yeah, that's why like using the modern era to me would imply since the global sync happened, right? But like, the previous period was kind of like 2019, I think, to 2024. So this was the worst period. I would probably tend to disagree with that. I'd really need to go back and look, though. I certainly can understand people saying the red zone fights are boring, but, like, it is so funny when people, like, try and, like, oh, the red zone fights were boring, so that's the reason that the game was, like, dead when they released, like, Tau or something like that. Like, it's absurd, right? Is this the worst period, though? No, there's no way. The thing is, a lot of these 2025 releases got hard power crept rather than they really sucked, right? 2023, man, had brutal stretches and of just like, character that's not good after character that's not good. So, balance all the content around Vegeta, which meant slow, long, boring, monotonous, hard content. I mean, that's true. The red zone fights had way too much HP. I mean, we were all talking about this at the time, like during the anniversary. Like those red zone fights, like Jiren just had way too much HP for no reason. Blue Goku, Blue Vegeta, right? Like even the bosses that are coming out right now still have like similar HP levels, except now our characters are hitting, 3 times harder. In terms of fun and in late 2025 even kit, I mean, this is mostly true. The Goku portion, so the starting portion, the Goku versus Vegeta, Goku is way better. But then, like, from there, the Gogeta portion wins. If you're able to stack defense with Tech Vegeta, though, Vegito is still crazy. But a lot of bosses now, like, you do need to get some defensive stacks, even if you're going to pop as active. Both have issues and new content. Units to help the team will always be more fun rather than stacking sim. Well, the thing is, Gogeta is just such a heavy support with his active, right? Heavily underrated. Okay. I feel like for a time, like, underrated is not what I would say for this guy. Hell no. Right now, no. No way. I feel like he was overhated for a lot of this year. Like, people were like, oh my god, he is like people were talking like this guy's like the greatest fumble of all time. Just utterly ridiculous, right? But like he was always what he was, which was kind of like mid. Like, he wasn't great and he wasn't bad. Like, he wasn't either. He was just kind of like right in the middle. That's one reason I like him. Remember, we talked about this a lot, but Dokkan Twitter in particular, they love characters that have huge glaring flaws that, like, you know, they'll see tweet after tweet of, oh, the character's so bad, and then, like, they, you know, use the character with glaring flaws, do run after run after run until they get the good run, get the W, post a screenshot on Twitter and say, oh, he's not that bad. That's what Dokkan Twitter loves. And the thing with this guy is, like, he wouldn't lose you runs, but he also is not, like, winning you runs either, really. So, people, yeah. This is insane. Like, it's like people were, like, trying to, like, talk it into reality. This Gohan is not anywhere. He's 5 tiers above, like, the Raditz level characters. He's not in the room. He's not at the table, not in the room, not even in the same country as, like, you know, Raditz and some of these other, like, hugely disappointing releases. No way. He is not there. And no matter how much people try and make it a reality, it's fiction. So, but at the same time, we're not going to pretend like this guy is some great character right now. Hell no. Theoretically a great unit, but in practice extremely annoying to run. I've not had these issues. I've seen a lot of people talk like this. I've not had problems. You just have to have Frieza out for a turn, then get to use the cool unit, depending upon your team build. But you can only get Gogeta on your second turn if you've got the superclass characters. I mean, a lot of the times I've been running these kind of like villain setups. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because... maybe it's because I know how to build my characters. Just saying. Maybe. But I have not really had as many issues with this guy. I find this character to be maybe my favorite design in the game right now. I think that this is probably the best use of the tag mechanic thus far. To me, this feels like kind of like the gold standard. I also like different, like, you could kind of get Gogeta to show up early based on superclass characters. I just, this design is really good. This is like the best tag character in terms of, I think, design. And probably fun as well. Time goes on, it'll just be a movie heroes, superheroes unit. Sure, but I do think we could say that about many characters. You know, this character will just be an android character. This character would just be a Hybrid Saiyan character. This character would just be like a youth character, right? Like, this is one of those statements, like, you can make a statement, but, like, it's like, yeah, you could also apply this to most other characters, right? Okay, extension from prior takes, maybe. 2025 Dokkan designs have been stupid and anti-fun. Stupid, annoying, silly restrictions that serve to isolate units from teams for no reason. Probably more, but these stand out to me. Let's see what we got right here. So this is Golden Frieza and Gogeta. This is the Gohan, Goten, and Trunks. This is Physical Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. I mean, yeah, but I mean, look at this, dude. When there is another full power Android Cell Saga ally on the team, like, that's not exactly like, oh my god, we're so restricted, right? Like, I don't know. This, sure, I guess. I mean, you do have to have quite a few villains, but, like, the whole point is to run that movie hero, villain team. The point Alan's getting to, this is what I've noticed, really, is, especially with, like, maybe since, like, kind of like GDC, they have dropped characters, and I mean, we could use this, whoops, I meant to only single click, this guy, and then this Gohan. Like, these units are, like, just god. Like, once, like they're so crazy. But the rest of the team is a little subpar. And this applies to, probably, like, maybe even you could say AGL Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's team. You could say about this Gohan, Goten, and Trunks. A bunch of these teams, it's like you have the main, like, character that's kind of, like, propping the team up, and a bunch of units that are kind of, like, subpar. It feels to me, this year, like, we'll use this character as an example, like, this character is stronger than, like, units of years past, but the team around him to balance it is weaker than what we've had in years past. Like, that's what Alan is kind of, like, get it. Like, it's the point he's kind of, like, dancing around without, like, I think realizing what it is. But that's what it is. The main summonable character is stronger in exchange for the team being a bit weaker. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, what is better? Hard to say. I see what he's getting at, though. The design for this unit is so silly. Yeah, I mean, I just feel as though I've never really had much incentive. Like, you know, like this is one of those characters, and this is why I would compare this year to 2022. It's very similar to 2022, where like the halfway point of the year hits pretty much, and then most of the start of the year characters just are gone. 2022 is the same way, right? People would talk about 2022. I mean, I would say if the 7th anniversary dropped now, like people would have a nuclear meltdown, right? Like if they ever did that again, what they did with 7th anniversary, people like talk about that as such a high point in Dokkan, but like, is it really? Right? Like where they just killed 99% of the game and then they spent months releasing characters that weren't good. ROF Blues, Goku and Piccolo, Raditz, Majin Vegeta for the first 3 months of his existence, right? A lot of characters like that who just didn't really do very much. And then, you know, Vegeta and Trunks and Golden Frieza dropped, and then they started releasing, you know, Patapara Goku and the Gammas and Cooler and Tech Super Saiyan Goku, right? They went crazy. That's what this year is like, where a lot of these earlier characters just don't amount to very much now. STR Cell, Pikkon, you know, Blue Kaioken Goku, you know, like Goku and Frieza, Physical Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, STR Evolution Blue Vegeta. So many of these characters don't really amount to very much, right? And that's what happens with Pikkon right here as well. And then yeah, like the kid is weird. It's just I'm not really finding much incentive or reason to run him. It also doesn't help that his team spread is not the greatest with the characters that they've released, right? Like I run AGL Pikkon quite a bit. Why? Because he's a movie hero character, and if I'm remembering correctly, LR Pikkon is not a movie hero character, right? He's from the tournament arc, whereas AGL Pikkon, he is movie hero, right? That's kind of the big difference. Yeah, so there's that. Okay. Let's go and see what the next one is. Out of all the 5 GDC LRs, he's weirdly the most scenario specific to be good. He gets dominated in a lot of the newer hard stages, but can also look like a god on others, mainly due to him having a caveman kit. Yeah, he does. Like the Tech Jiren school. Yes. Doesn't have the stuff to live early hits like other GDC LRs. I mean, it depends. This feels kind of not true to me, because a fight that many consider to be the hardest fight, this Gogeta completely dominates, which is the Goku Black and Zamasu fight. So, to an extent, I know what Alan is talking about, because if we go into the Supreme Magnificent Battle, where it's like the bosses hit harder, but it's easier to play around them, than, you know, like the Goku Black and Zamasu fight, where they do hit a little bit weaker, but their boss mechanics are much more dangerous, making the fight more dangerous. I don't know. Who is he? Who are we comparing him to? He gets dominated in a lot of the newer stages. Who doesn't? Like it's like, this is, like, okay, like, if we say Gogeta does die, so does literally every other character. Omega can get absolutely blasted, right? The Blues, I mean, they feel like the character that dies the least for me. But like, you know, there's moments where they could get blasted, right? Like, it's every character can. I don't know. Downplay for this character, it's the opposite. Alan is saying he's weirdly the most scenario specific, but it's actually very, 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 very specific scenario for Gogeta to get embarrassed, is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. Because, I mean, he's saying newer hard stages. I mean, I know we're not going to talk about the new Broly fight as hard, but, like, I don't know. Some of these characters, I mean, is it, like, no way Alan is having, like, a skill issue or something, but, like, it's pretty simple with this guy, right? Like, it's not hard. You show up, you run him in slot 1 if you can, right? So you get some hits, build this stuff up, get the Dragon Fist up, and then you pop the Dragon Fist and you get to the hardest phase. Like, I don't know. That's all you do. You use the Dragon Fist in the hardest part of the fight, and bosses don't kill him. So, okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm not really agreeing with Alan very much here. Following from the prior take, pretty confident Rose is the worst. Yeah, no way. 5 GDC LRs. I'd have to have Rose over Gohan, Goten, and Trunks. I mean, Alan himself has talked about having frustrations with the kind of like specific hits or whatever. Rose, it's easier to run Rose at near full power on other teams than it is Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, right? Like Rose, remember, I swear a lot of people still have not read his kit. The thing is, Rose works so well with the blues because all Rose needs is one future ally, and he's good to go, right? Like I've found great success running this guy. Omega's team, the blues team, all over the place. Oftentimes I feel like this guy becomes very underrated, this unit. Pretty confident Rose is the worst of the 5 GDCLRs, not because of kit, but because of his abysmal team. Yeah, see, like, this is insane. He looks great on Omega's team, and then he's great on the Blues team. Like, I don't know. And he creates the lowest impact of the 5. I disagree, because a lot of those hits that would kill Omega don't kill Rose. Actually, they have perfect synergy together. They're covering each other's weakness. Rose needs teams. Omega needs front and help in front of him in slot 1 a lot of times. They fulfill each other's issues. So I'm not all the way here. Nah. No matter what, I mean, you know, we can nitpick. The top 4 is the top 4. Again, like, we can nitpick these characters to death. And nowadays with modern Dokkan, they've made the fight so hard. And I mean, there are, you know, kind of like these, you know, specific kit points you could dig at, like what Alan was referencing. But like the top 4 is the top 4. And like, they're just better than like the rest of the game. I'm pretty confident in that. Easily the most fun 2025 unit. They're up there. For me, it's probably Golden Frieza and Gogeta, but like, I could see it. And oh yeah, but remember chat what I said. Usually this guy's pretty good unless it's a character he has a specific agenda against, which I'm not aware of if Alan does. But then also he's a little giddy about hybrids, yeah. Best example of the tag mechanic so far. Yeah, see, sorry, buddy. No, it's Golden Frieza and Gogeta is the best example of the tag mechanic by far. It's obvious. I heavily disagree. Both sides provide great value and scenario-specific uses. That is true, though. Yes, yeah. Only issue with the unit right now is their team. Yep, but that's, you know, again, that's the setup that they've done for a lot of these characters. The character themselves is like a godly level character, but the teams are a bit weaker. That's why Omega and the Blues don't have that issue because they're Dokkan Fest. Right? Omega, the day Omega came out, it was like, bro, are we for real? But they gave him so much help that it's like Omega has a great team and he has so many options, right? Okay. Restriction should have also been hybrids instead of youth. He's referring to the youth restriction. Yeah, I mean, that certainly could have been better. This as a tag unit, in my opinion, is the most needed card right now for Superclass. It would be a fun one for sure. Yeah, I'm down for another future Gohan. They'd help so many of the other units' restrictions from earlier in the year. Huge coverage for current Superclass teams. Trunks first going Super Saiyan is needed. Yeah, true. That's true. Legends best card. Yeah, he's referring to the blue future Gohan and Trunks, and they were so good, right? Because they had the, what was it, the succession mechanic. Yeah, this would be a fun card, and this is true. Getting this animated would be fire. Yeah, I agree. Overrated? No one talks about this unit. I'm sorry. Unless we're gonna time travel 4 months ago, people are not. I'm not seeing people gas this unit up. No way. I'm sorry. People like this unit got power crept and people accepted it. I did not. This unit did not get the coping. So many characters in Dokkan history have been good, and then like the cope factory started when they get power crept. I've not seen that with this character. They got power crept and people just go, yep, they had a good run. Like that's exactly what happened. There's no way you can call them overrated. I'm sorry. I like them since release. They've been an okay add to teams. They don't excel in anything. Seem to have a weird cult. Okay. Yeah, this is true. But again, they have not been gassing this character up for months now. Right? I would agree. There was people who kind of like pretended like this character didn't have weaknesses and then Gohan was the worst of all time. That is true, but again, people are not really talking about this character. I think a lot of people shit on both. Yeah. Frieza is like one of the worst, like of a major celebration character we've ever seen. Frieza has like the worst turn 1 out of like almost any. But then once we get to Goku is really quite good. And I mean, don't excel in anything is not correct because Goku was very tanky. They excelled in defense, if anything. And Frieza in specific scenarios could excel in offense, but Right. But again, this character got power crept and everyone just said, yep, they got power crept. Like, I have not seen the cope factory about them. Overrated? Got me killed countless times in those stages. Yeah, but again, which character can't you say this about? Like, to be fair, like, every character dies. You need Great Ape instantly in newer stages or you lose. That's not all the way true, because he is a dodge character. He can dodge. I just, this might be a character, too, where I have a dodge build on him, so mine dodges just slightly more, and then I die less. Might be it. Great card, but people act like he's miles above all the other 10th anniversary cards. Cap. Yeah, I agree. He's kind of in range in here. Again, people will go crazy about these 5 characters. Wrath Broly, Super Saiyan 4, Tech Vegito, Vegeta and Trunks, EGL Gogeta. They all essentially have the same role, right? I think you could maybe put Super Saiyan 4 Goku first, since his dodging... I mean, Broly, the active does make him a little bit more useful in GDC than people pretend. But, I mean, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, he's got the dodging, and he does have the, the team protector mechanic, kind of like transformation as well. But, like, these characters, I mean, they kind of have the same role. Like, you could interchange these characters a lot. I would probably say he's the best 10th anniversary LR, but, like, I mean, it's close with Tech Vegito. It's not like, he's not miles above Tech Vegito. No way. Want to like him, but hate his design. Yeah, I mean, he's not... Okay, it makes sense. Most people don't like festival battles, at least in this community. And he's meant for festival battles, right? Like, he's not designed for the GDC fights. Make hard content short, but hard again. That's what they did? Yeah, GDC stage is the most fun I've had. Most talk we've had the community since Goku and Frieza Red Zone. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because there wasn't... Like... Certainly, whichever fights we had 10th anniversary, like Jiren or whatever, were not very engaging once you get to the end. Yeah, for sure. 95% of the player base does not want to play stacking sim where a stage takes 40 minutes to beat. Yeah, well, remember, specifically about the 10th anniversary Red Zones, the problem is that it felt like a chore killing the bosses. It's not that, like, the bosses... part of the difficulty is they have so much HP. It just felt like they had, like, needlessly too much HP, right? Is what it felt like. 2024 is the best year of Dokan we've ever had. Maybe. I mean, it's definitely... It's either 2024 or 2025. 2023 was the funniest and best for discussion. Yeah, funniest is certainly a word I would think. Yeah, sure, man. Yeah, Fusions of Monster Red Zones are the best stages we've ever gotten. I mean, I did enjoy it. I did. That is a fight. Remember, people cried so much about it, but I did enjoy that fight quite a bit. This unit feels like a community psyop. No matter how many people say something doesn't make it true. Team was not unkillable in Goku and Frieza. I mean, yeah, I could lose, but... I mean, Broly ended up being a very effective character. My one issue is, again, he felt too restricted for a Dokkan Fest exclusive LR, right? I mean, look at Omega and the Blues, and they feel, to me, very free using as Dokkan Fest LRs compared to what this guy was, right? But he obviously could do a lot of things with his Revive, his Domain, right? The healing, stunning. Like, he had a bunch of different abilities. I would say his support, but, bro, I've gotten value out of this kid's support, like, 3 times ever or something. I'm going to just quickly... This right here. I got this up, like, 3 or 4 times ever. Like, it's crazy, right? Most useless tag we've gotten so far? 39 quotes. Yeah, not surprising. Is he talking most useless tag we've gotten? Well, does it not let me do that? Let's see. Oh, they're talking about Kale and Caulifla? Yeah. Kale and Caulifla. Because that turn 6 hurts bad. Yeah, so people did not agree with this. I would say Kale and Caulifla. Yeah, listen, sorry, but the Blues, I mean, they're the best unit in the game, so. Oh, can't think of anything else other than this. People need to get new jokes on Dokkan Twitter. A lot of you act like straight up dickheads to people on it. Yeah, everyone is guilty of that. I'm guilty of that. Everyone's guilty of it. You're guilty of it too, Alan, by the way, bud. Everyone is. Wait, okay. A lot of you act like straight up dickheads to people on here. Twitter will always have that, but I think we should aim to call it out. Yeah, I mean, remember, it's not a Dokkan community specific thing for sure. An example is Rhodey. People say the same unfunny shit to him constantly under all of his tweets. Tired of seeing it. Yeah, no, I can totally get what he talks about with Rhodey. The thing with Rhodey, though, is that Rhodey does kind of like he has like his, you know, encyclopedia of bad takes, but he's constantly adding to that. So, like, I don't, like, a perfect example is, like, Rhodey previously would say something, and then they would say, aren't you the motherfucker that gassed up Blue Vegito, right? Like, I did that a couple of times, right? But, like, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. I don't feel like I really see that too much anymore, because, like, now, like, we're talking about, like, what Rhodey says about the recent Blues and stuff like that. I don't know. Like, I get the point Alan is making, but, I mean, Rhodey does have a long history of just kind of saying ridiculous stuff. Yep, same unfunny shit to him constantly in those tweets. Tired of seeing it, so I can't imagine how he feels. Much as I disagree with Rhodey, more respect for him than most because he actually says what he believes, has a face to believe it. I agree. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I also think Rhodey seems like a pretty swell dude to me. I mean, I said that about one kid, and then he ended up being a scumbag. So hopefully that doesn't happen with Rhodey. I can only hope. Oh, brother, where are we going with this, man? A lot of you are legally able to vote. You should not act the way you do on here or any other platform. Also, much love to all the content creators. You're the backbone of the community. Without you all, there'd be no community. Oh, fuck off. Pretty tame for Alan. He really just stuck it to the main LRs. I mean, a lot of this, I don't know. Like, there is something really super crazy in here. This is what I'm saying. Like, Alan doesn't, like, if he would really continue to harp, because I don't know what unit he has an agenda against. It might be this character, honestly, the way he was talking. But he did kind of shy away from talking about the hybrid Saiyans too much. And that's where this guy would get into trouble, right? Like, I do not think this guy is underrated. Maybe he used to be, because people pretended like he was, again, yeah, like a rat. It's like, people were calling him the biggest fumble of all time. Yes, people were saying shit like that. And it's like, he wasn't even, again, in the same, you know, room, table, country, planet as, like, Raditz level fumbles. But, like, yeah, like, no one actually thinks this character's underrated. That's not happening. Yeah, because, like, PyCon, yeah, not really seeing much use out of him. This seems a little silly. Gogeta kind of just shows up and puts his dick on the table, and that's what happens with him. Like, Rose, I feel like it's just always disrespected. I don't know what it is about this character. People, this might be the worst utilization of the tag mechanic, by the way, is Rose, actually. Yeah, because, like, okay, so the switching to Zamasu is pointless unless you're going to just use his active, or you've got this up. That's it. This is the worst utilization of the tag. I've found Zamasu to be entirely worthless outside of his active, right? And specifically if you've got this. That's it. That, because Rose is crazy. He's so much better. And it's like, this is the only one I really feel like that for, right? Like, let me pull up Gifted Warriors quick and let's just look at a bunch of the tags. Because, like, I mean, you know, if you could use Trunks and Goten, you do want to, but, like, you end up using Gohan quite a bit. Kale and Khalifa have different situations, but I feel like it's because they're turn 6, they don't really have great setups. I don't know. It's just, we're mostly just using Khalifa. The blues, like, Goku for defense mostly, Vegeta for damage. Vegeta's impact on Festival is so crazy. I mean, Frieza sucks. You know, in my experience with this character, the second you go to Goku, and you never go back to Frieza ever, because Frieza's terrible. And then, I mean, for this guy, you swap back and forth for him. Yeah, the worst uses of the tag mechanic, it's Rose or Kale and Khalifa, right? Because, I'm sorry, like, Zamasu is so pointless, I'm sorry. Alright, guys, there we go. Tomorrow I'll find a different hot take thread. You guys are enjoying these. I'm enjoying them. Let me know what you guys think. I'll catch y'all next time.